Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to create advanced bokeh effects in Photoshop. And also, we will dive deeper into duplicating layers, converting layer to smart object, applying fill, applying curves layer, applying field blur, applying Gaussian blur, and change of blend modes. So let's get started. So here in our document, we got here an image of this man, and you will notice that it has bright, colorful background. And our goal here is to apply an advanced bokeh effect. So the first step we're going to do here is we're going to create a duplicate layer of our background layer. So to do that, going onto the layers panel, select on the background layer over here and press Ctrl plus J. All right. And not only one, but two. So I'm going to press on the layer one, press Ctrl plus J. And now we already created two duplicated layer of background layer. But for the later one, I'm gonna set this one as our background or BG for short. Okay, and the other one, I will set this one as our subject. All right, there you go. And the next step we're gonna do here is we're going to make use of a lasso tool to create a selection on our subject, because our goal here is to apply a fill to remove the subject on this layer. So to do that, selected on the BG or the background layer, I am going to the toolbar, select on lasso tool. This one shows the symbol of a lasso tool. Click on it, and then I'm going to start drawing around our subject like this. So even though it's not that perfect, all right, but make sure to give space to it. Okay, now there are. Now we already have a selection around this subject. Now the next thing here is we're going to apply the fill. So yes, with this selection, I'm going to the menu bar, go to edit, and choose fill. And this dialog box will appear. So set the contents to content aware, mode to normal, opacity to 100, and then select OK. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Once done, now I'm going to hide the subject for you to see the outcome. So I'm going to hide this one. So you can see that we already removed the subject on this layer. But you know it's not that perfect, but that's totally fine, all right? Because we're going to apply a bokeh effect on this layer. All right, so the next step we're going to do here is we're going to convert this background layer into a smart object. So to do that, I'm going to right click on the background layer and I'm going to choose convert to smart object for us to apply more effects on it, and we may still able to adjust it. Okay, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to remove the selection first. To do that, just press Ctrl plus D. And there you go. There's no more selection. All right. And then I'm going to apply here filter. So to do that, select it on the background layer. I'm going to the menu bar, choose on filter. Under filter, go to others, and then choose maximum. Okay, actually this one is kind of blur that we may add. So for the radius, so let's set this one to around, I guess 40 will be good for this image. Okay, there you go. So I'm gonna set this one to 40. Okay, another thing here, if you want to change the bokeh shape, so go to preserve, you can set this one to squareness. If I do that, look at the bokeh effect. It's something like it's a square shape. Amazing, isn't it? But we're going to make use of a roundness here. Okay, so just give you an idea about it. Okay, so that's it. Set the radius to 40, preserve the roundness, and then select OK. All right. Now the next step we're gonna do here is we're going to apply a Gaussian blur just to scatter a bit. Okay, so to do that, select it on the background layer or the BG layer. I'm going to the filter and now choose blur. Under blur, choose Gaussian blur. And I'm going to set the radius to just around 15%. Okay, and then select. Okay. Now I'm going to make the subject layer visible. So go into the layers panel, select on the subject. I'm going to click on this, and now our subject is already here. And now we're going to create a selection on it by the use of select subject. So yes, select on that layer. I'm going to the menu bar, go to select, and then choose subject. And Photoshop will automatically create a selection on our subject. And there you go. The next step we're going to do here is we're going to expand just a few expansion. So to do that, with this selection, I'm going to select again, and then go to modify, and then to select expand, and then expand it by 2 pixels, and then select OK. All right, now I'm going to add a mask here to remove the background. So with that selection, I'm going to click here, add a mask, and there you go. Okay, so actually, if we remove, this is the subject now. All right, so the next step we're going to do here is we're going to apply curves. All right, so to do that, I'm going to, on the right side bottom, click on this. This is the adjustment layer icon, and then choose on curves. Okay, and I'm going to apply here just a few yellowish color. All right, so to do that, so from the RGB, I'm gonna click this arrow down and choose green. Okay, and then I'm going to create an anchor point in the middle, and I'm just going to drag this a little bit. Okay, so just to give a greenish color on our image. Okay, all right, there you go. I'm good with this. And also, I'm also going to choose red. Okay, and then I'm going to increase a few reddish effect. Okay, I'm good with this. All right, so now we already have this image. Okay, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to create a duplicate layer of our background layer, because our next plan here is to apply a bokeh in front of our subject. Okay, so to do that, go to the BG layer, press Ctrl plus J, and then I'm gonna click and drag that on top of the curves layer. So there you go. You can see that it's gone, right? The next step here is we're going to add here a field blur and adjust its bokeh effect. So to do that, with that layer selected, I am going to the filter on the menu bar, and then choose on blur gallery. Under blur gallery, choose field blur. All right, and now I'm going to adjust the blur to amount of 70. Okay, all right. And then for the effects from the bokeh lights, I'm going to increase this one to this 60%. And I also want to add some colors on it. So I'm going to adjust also the bokeh color into around 70. Okay, I'm good with this. Okay, and also from the light range, from the shadow slider, I'm going to decrease this one a few. Okay, look at the changes. Okay, and then from the highlight shadow, I'm also going to decrease this one to create more vibrant color. Okay, so when I set to this, now you can see the changes. All right, I'm good with this. Okay, but there's still, this one looks terrible for me, so I'm going to increase this one. Okay, so I'm gonna increase this one, the shadow. All right, this one is much better. And then for the highlights, all right, now this is what I prefer. But for the bokeh lights, I think I'm going to decrease this one a few, so that's much bright. For the blur, all right, so there you go. So that's how I set it. So I put the blur into 74 pixels, light bokeh into 50%, bokeh colors to 70%. From the light range, for the shadows, 181, and for the highlights, it's 186. Okay, now once all said and done, select OK. And there you go. The next step we're gonna do here is we're going to change the blend mode of the BG copy or the background copy here. All right. So to do that, selected on that layer, I'm going here from normal. I'm going to click this arrow down and I'm going to choose a blend mode that is perfect on our image. So I'm going to set this one to screen. Okay. All right. But you can see the color is too much. So then that's why we're going to lessen the opacity. Okay. So I'm going to bring this down, the slider. Okay. And decrease this one a few. All right. So I'm good with 50. Okay. There you go. All right. And the next step here is we're going to create a mask on the BG copy. So select on that, create a mask, and then select on the tool, on the brush tool, or B for the shortcut key. And for the brush options, I'm going to set the opacity into 30%, foreground color into black. Also, for the brush, I'm going to use a soft round brush here. And then I'm going to decrease the size by just pressing the shortcut key of it. So for the decrease, you just have to press on the open bracket key. And for the increase, just press on the close bracket key for the adjustment of the brush tool. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to increase the size. Okay, and then I'm going to paint just a few on our subject, just to reveal our subject. Okay. All right, now I'm good with our bokeh effect. Now I may now show you the before and after. So this one is the before, and this one is the after. And that is how to create an advanced bokeh effect in Photoshop.